Welcome back to our video series on travel to Mexico. In this video, we will be discussing Cancun and the Moon Palace, as well as answering some questions you may have about travel to Mexico.
So you've decided that you want to book. You're ready for an awesome vacation getaway to Cancun, but maybe you have a few concerns, like what if I don't speak Spanish? That's totally understandable. The good news is, at the resort and other large properties, most of the staff speak English as well as Spanish.
Their English may not be perfect, but you can order the things that you need, necessities such as food, drink, services, etc. We have found that the staff at the Palace resorts all speak excellent English.
This is in part to the resort's efforts to teach English to their staff. They have actual classrooms where they teach English regularly to help their staff succeed in the super competitive tourism industry.
So they speak English, as do most of the people you will deal with at the airport, customs, and shuttle. Also, nearly all signs are in English and Spanish at the airport and resorts.
Learning a little Spanish, though, can help make your trip even more enjoyable. Find yourself a simple phrase book or introductory course on Spanish. Knowing the names of foods at breakfast, lunch, and dinner is super helpful when dining if you venture out of the resort. Also, knowing how to ask how much something costs or knowing the time of day, how to count, things like that is super helpful.
A moment ago, I mentioned customs. You'll be traveling to a foreign country and will need your passport. This is the way you get through customs.
The customs agents speak English, and you will have to fill out a form for each person entering the country, and usually a form for the family if you are traveling as a family. Here you will declare if you are transporting anything weird in your luggage like plants, vegetables, fruits, etc.
You mainly just need to put your airline, flight number, hotel, and passport information on this form. Once you get through the line and to an agent, the process is usually less than 60 seconds. As you go through customs, they will stamp your passport and they will stamp this form. You will tear off a piece of the form and they will give you back your passport. Put the form in your passport and hold on to it. You will need it in order to leave Mexico.
We highly suggest that when you get to your hotel, you take those passports and lock them in the safe in your room. Then you don't have to worry about finding them in the middle of the evening before you leave or the day that you leave.
So what about cash and such? Do I need pesos in Mexico, or can I use American dollars?
The answer is yes. You could maybe get away with using dollars in a few places, but pesos are the way to go. A nice thing about the Moon Palace is there is a currency exchange on site. The rates may not be the best in the land, but you can exchange dollars for pesos and vice versa.
It's always a good idea to have some bills on hand for tipping. More on that in just a moment.
You will also need cash if you decide to venture out of the resort. Credit cards work too, but cash is always king. You will likely need cash for a taxi ride if you choose to take one somewhere. Basically, having cash on hand for pesos is an extremely good idea, even if you never plan to leave the resort.
It is also a good idea to make sure that you inform your bank and credit card company that you are traveling, so that your account does not get locked when you try and use your credit cards or your bank card.
$1 is worth about 20 pesos, so keep that in mind when you are figuring out how much something costs or how much you would like to tip someone.
So back to tipping. Do you need to tip at an all-inclusive resort? No. Should you? Absolutely.
These people work for a living, and this is how they support themselves and their families. Tipping is not only polite, but can also get you a better experience. If there is a group at the bar waiting to be served, I guarantee you that the guy or girl who tipped the last time they came around is going to get better service than everyone else standing there waiting.
You may or may not have heard the water in Mexico is awful, and you shouldn't drink it. This is partially true if you were born and raised in the United States and drank from a municipal water system all your life. In Mexico, water quality, clarity, and purity varies everywhere and sometimes quite drastically.
The resort knows this though, and knows that many guests would be ill if they drank the water. The good thing is they have bottled water to make ice, serve water in your glass, make coffee, etc.
The water in your sink, shower, and toilet is water you definitely don't want to drink. You can brush your teeth with it and just spit it out when you're done, But if you want to take a bottle with you or a couple with you back to your room to brush your teeth, that's not a bad idea.
Who drinks from the toilet?
Okay, so we've touched on if water is okay to have or not. And what about the food? Is there stuff I should avoid? Well, maybe.
For the most part, the only thing to be cautious of are things that are raw. Raw meats, sushi that has been sitting out in a buffet, etc. It's no different in the US. You wouldn't want to eat sushi at a buffet, period. You may think you have a stomach of steel and have no issue, but if you are not that adventurous when it comes to eating, then stick to cooked foods. Also, if you have a sensitive stomach or medical concerns, you may wish to stay away from fresh fruits or salads, or just eat them in moderation. I had a stomach ache one visit after eating a salad. It only lasted for a few hours, but it was multiple trips to the restroom. It was no bueno.
If you want the easy route, there are shops at the property where you can buy Pepto-Bismol, Maalox, antacids, and anti-diarrheal medication, pain relievers, and so on. It's like a small convenience store. However, you might want to plan ahead and pack a few of those items just in case.
Thank you for watching. In our next video, we will discuss what to pack, cell phone service, Wi-Fi, daycare, tours, golf, and so on.
Please subscribe and check back soon for our next video in the series.
In the description below, I provided some useful links and maybe one irrelevant one just for good measure. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you soon.